What's up? What's up, world? This is Sosa once again, Truth a Lot Thursdays. And this second question that I have for this week, basically it's about the abomination of desolation. It says, what is the abomination that causes desolation that is mentioned in Daniel and Revelations? What is the abomination? Is it a sculpture? Is it a person? Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about with the abomination of desolation, Jesus' disciples were asking him three questions. They asked him, when will the temple be destroyed? What are the signs of your coming and the signs of the end of the world? And so when you study prophecy, you have to realize that there's always multiple layers of fulfillment. Some of these prophecies get fulfilled 2 or 3 times. Like there's patterns. There's patterns that happen, they're like cycles that they repeat when you look at prophecy. So when the abomination that causes desolation is mentioned in the book of Daniel 3 times, and it's also mentioned in the book of Matthew. And so the first time it was fulfilled by a Greek ruler called Antiochus Epiphanes, and he actually came to the temple, and brought his idolatrous religion into the temple and ended up destroying the temple. So that prophecy was fulfilled. But what Jesus was talking about, he was talking about another fulfillment of that prophecy, and that prophecy was fulfilled in 70 A.D. And this time it wasn't a Greek ruler, it was a Roman ruler named Emperor Titus, or Titus Caesar. And he actually did the same thing. He came to the temple and basically destroyed and ransacked Jerusalem, killed lots and lots of people. But Jesus in Matthew 24 was actually warning them, saying, listen, when you see Roman armies coming, flee to the mountaintops. And historians have even recorded that Christians were some of the first people to leave Jerusalem, so they didn't get murdered and slaughtered like everyone else did. So the abomination of desolation, according to that pattern, is a person who is a Gentile ruler that comes into Jerusalem or among the people of God and destroys. First they bring their idolatry into the temple, and then they end up destroying the temple and destroying the people of God. So it's an abomination, which is idolatrous worship, and then it causes desolation, which is destruction. So abomination and desolation. So Antiochus Epiphanes and then Titus Caesar are the 2 rulers that represented the abomination of desolation, and they actually fulfilled this already. And so it's not in the book of Revelation. So abomination of desolation is something that's already been fulfilled, but I don't think it has a future fulfillment unless you're talking about the Antichrist. The reason I say that I don't think it's going to be a future fulfillment is because, first of all, it's not mentioned in Revelation. Number 2, the temple has already been destroyed. So there's no physical temple, that's officially sanctioned by God. That's a building that you can actually say an abomination would be, something that would desolate the people of God, because the people of God, the Jews, the physical people of God, had already been scattered. The temple's already been destroyed, and they haven't been regathered yet. Now, the temple of God right now is the body of Christ. And so there could be a fulfillment, which is found in 1 Thessalonians, or 2 Thessalonians 2. It says the man of sin, which is the Antichrist, will appear and will cause, will try to deceive the body of Christ and set himself up over the body of Christ. And I believe that person is the Pope. So it's not necessarily technically the abomination of desolation, but it is the Antichrist, and it's somebody that kind of sets themselves up over the people of God to be worshipped. So that's the abomination of desolation. Is basically the pattern is set that the abomination of desolation, the abomination that brings desolation, is a person that comes to the physical temple and the physical people of God and destroys them. And so that's what that was. But again, I don't think it's going to be fulfilled again. I think it was already fulfilled in Antiochus Epiphanes, and it's going to be, and it was already fulfilled in 70 A.D. with Emperor Tacitus Caesar. But as far as the future fulfillment of it, I think it's going to be a spiritual fulfillment of it through the Antichrist. I don't think it's going to be a literal, another temple that's going to be destroyed. I think it's going to be the Antichrist that comes to deceive God's people. So